Hey, it's Jody from Ramp-O-Matic, and today I'm going to show you how to reuse those unobtanium ramp decals on your new ramps. Welcome back again. Today we're going to take the decals off this ugly old Road Kings ramp and put them on this nice shiny new one. At this point in time, the decals are not available for Road Kings ramps and many other ramps. This is out of my control. I don't deal with ramp decals at all. You don't want to see my graphic design abilities. And you have to deal with licensing since it's artwork. So your best bet is to lobby the people that own the copyrights to the artwork, whether it be Gottlieb with Steve Young or Planetary Pinball with the Bally Williams stuff. You will find some other decals available that have been successfully reproduced, but it's not something I have the time to get into. So I wish I could do it all, but I just can't. So I'm going to give you an alternative so you can hopefully reuse more of your decals and get your ramp projects one more step farther along. So follow along. So I use the freeze method. I think there are some other methods out there, but I feel like the freeze method is the safest method. And that involves electronic duster. And you hold the can upside down and you want the liquid to come out of the can to freeze that decal off. So I'm going to show you how I do that quickly and easily. This duster, you can get it just about anywhere. To be honest, I buy it by the case because as soon as you start a project, it seems like you're always running out of a can. So I just have multiple cans of it on hand so I'm not stuck in the middle of removing something and then have to go find more. So it's not that expensive, and if you do a lot of these restorations, it's worth just having a case of this stuff sitting around. And here's our ugly Road Kings ramp, and I'm going to go ahead and get started. What you're looking to do is to hold the can upside down and just get the liquid all over everything. And I try and do both sides because it seems to help freeze the decal off better. Because what you're looking to do is to get this plastic decal to release itself from the adhesive underneath. One thing about this is not going to work on vinyl decals. So if it's a top side mounted decal, like on the back corner of Dirty Harry on the one ramp, the top decal on roller games across the big ramp, you know, the little confetti round decals on that, it's not going to work for that. It's only going to work for these decals that are clear, that have like an acetate backing material on them. Those will stay strong enough and come off in one piece without hardly any issue. And you're going to be surprised if you've never done this before how easy it is to get these off in one piece. So I'm going to go ahead and start here. And what you want to do, you're looking, it takes a while to soak in, you know, a couple seconds, not a long time, but because the cold's got to soak in. There's a little bit more. So then I start on a corner and I try and get a corner loose. Right here, this one's already starting pretty easily. There we go. Now the key is when it stops, you stop. Okay, don't pull beyond when there's more resistance happening. Don't keep pulling because that's when you can break the decal. You just kind of want to. There you go. Just help it along. There we go. It was that easy. So now I'm gonna do the other side. Let's see how we are here. Might need a little bit more. There it goes. There you go. Decals are off. It's that easy. Now we got to do the next step, which is clean the decals up. So I flipped these decals over, and what we want to do is get all that glue residue off. Even this dried on stuff. Hopefully we can soften that up. I think we'll be okay. You want to get all that residue off because you don't want to see that whenever we apply the adhesive to it in the next step. So I'm going to use some of this Goo Gone adhesive remover. It's safe on the plastic. It won't melt the plastic. And I'm just gonna rub these things and see how much of that goo I can get off of there. I'm just using my fingernail on the paper towel to kind of give me a little more pressure. But you want to be careful, because if you see any edges fraying or anything like that, you don't want to cause a complete tear. It's not the end of the world if you do, but it's a heck of a lot easier if you don't. And that glue, that dry spot of glue that was sticking out there is actually, looks like it's going pretty well. It's going to come off. So I think these are going to turn out pretty well. All right. We got these looking pretty good. It's almost like a fingerprint on the backside that I can't get off. It's almost like somebody touched it with super glue. That could have been me whenever I was making the mold. So I don't think that's going to come off, but for demonstration purposes, this will be okay. As you can see, they're looking pretty good. Now, what you want to do for the next step is get some 91% alcohol, denatured alcohol, something, but you want to make sure you get all that Goo Gone residue off. So this is the side that's going to get the adhesive. So we're going to make sure that side's nice and clean for the next step. Okay, now that we got the decals nice and clean, we're ready for the next step, which is to add the adhesive back to the decal. This is something I got off of Amazon. It's called 3M 468 MP. And below that it says 200 MP adhesive. What this is basically adhesive with no backer. It's just a layer of adhesive that's going to stick to whatever you want to stick it to. And then when you pull both the backer sheets off, it's going to be just adhesive. So this is what I've used, and it seems to work pretty well. So I like to get a little game plan here. I lay the decals on my sheet, and what I want to do is just draw like a rough outline around them. Make sure you give yourself some room to work with, because when you lay the decal on, sometimes you don't get it perfectly straight, and then you wind up running out of room. And you really want to do this in one piece if you can. And then this one I'm going to do in this corner. I'm leaving like a ½ inch margin out there. It depends really how much you how much you trust your cutting skills and your placing skills. And then next I'm going to use an X-Acto knife and cut these out. Now, what you want to do is remove the adhesive. And make sure your decal's the right direction. So this is actually backwards. So this is what you're looking at is the top of the decal that goes against the ramp. So we want to actually peel this side off and apply the decal with this colored side down. I try and hold it over here and kind of size up where it's supposed to go, and then I start in the middle and work my way out. Oh. Uh-oh, I missed. But that's okay, we'll fix that. Just like that. Now that we have the decal on, you can come back with your X-Acto knife and neatly trim around the outside perfectly. Now, got it nicely trimmed out here. See, I missed that corner. I'm just going to come back here, lay that right over there, press that on, and retrim. Just like that. Now we have a decal that's ready to be installed. We're going to go ahead and cut the other one out, and we'll install. Now that I have them both cut out, we're ready to reinstall. These long decals are a little scary because they can easily get, when you start putting them on, you can easily get off track, and next thing you know, you're trying to peel them off and redo them. Which, if it does happen, it's not the end of the world because now you know how to reuse them. So you just take the adhesive off, clean it off with Goo Gone, and try again. I'm going to attempt to do the hinge method here. This could go well or this could go terribly, but we're in it together now, guys. So I'm gonna tape. I gotta stand up and take a look here, make sure I'm aligned pretty well. I'm gonna tape and tape that on there. And I'm gonna peel this back. And ever so gently, actually no, I'm not gonna score that. I'm just gonna peel this back. I'm going to peel this back and just tear that off. And carefully lay that right on there. And now that you have that side on, peel your tape off, come back, peel the rest of your backer off. Hopefully. One thing I forgot to mention too, make sure you use isopropyl alcohol to clean your ramp before you apply the decal as well, because I can tell you right now, every single ramp I sell, I wipe down with Novus 1 before it leaves, so there's going to be some residue on it. So if you want maximum adhesion, you definitely want to make sure you clean that off first. That went pretty well. We still have a little bit of where the decal was sticking up before, a little bit of almost like a discoloration, but overall it looks pretty darn good. And so we're going to repeat that, because that seemed to work pretty darn well. We're going to repeat that hinge method for this side. Don't forget the little bit here that we missed. There we go. Just like that. Pull our tape off. Very carefully rub that in. And now, we've got a nice finished ramp. And here's a comparison between the two ramps. Just look at that. Look at how yellowed that old ramp is. Even people, when you think you have like a pretty nice clean ramp, oh, it's not cracked, it doesn't look bad. When you stick a new ramp in, it just completely changes the game. And that wraps this one up. For those of you that have Road Kings games and you want to get one of these ramps, I do have them in stock in my store most of the time at www.ramp-o-matic.com. I also make the back ramp for this game in clear as opposed to the black that it was originally designed with. The clear makes the game pop so much more. You can actually see the artwork on the back. It just completely changes the game for the better, in my opinion. And, well, I'll put a picture up here. You agree? Yeah, it looks awesome. So they're available. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me, and we'll see you on the next one.